This is K9WLW. I'm doing yet another video, and I'm going to shift gears over to the Kenwood 74. I've been hearing from various users that they've been having difficulties in getting their Openspot 3 to work with the Kenwood 74. Now this video is basically going to be how to program a DR memory channel to control your Openspot 3 in the Kenwood 74. I'm going to do a series of videos with this radio and this hotspot to kind of see where you can go with the Openspot 3. Once you've set up and picked a frequency for your Openspot 3, a number of users are using the DV simplex method of controlling the Openspot 3, and they have very, very limited functions, and it's very difficult to navigate around the D-Star network or anywhere else for that matter. So I'm going to stress here that I think it is always important to use a DR memory channel to control your hotspots, both for Pi-Star hotspots and also for the Openspot platform. This video would actually be applicable to anyone with a Kenwood D74 who may have an Openspot 3. It will also apply to anyone who has an Openspot 2, and it should also apply to anyone that has the old Openspot 1. They're very similar in how they perform on D-Star and how they function. So if you have any one of those three hotspots, this video is a must if you have not programmed a DR memory channel to control your Openspot hotspot. Okay, I already have a DR memory for my Openspot 3, and I'm going to actually create a new one for it, even though I don't need to. I want everyone to be familiar with how to do this, because I think it's very important, because it gives you very quick command and control from the Kenwood radio all over the D-Star network. And I think when you see where we go in this video, you'll see why this is important. If you're not using a DR memory channel, you're really making it difficult to navigate the D-Star network. You're almost having to rely on the browser, which is not a fun way to have to navigate the network when the radio has what it needs to do the job for you. So what I'm going to do is create a new memory channel for the Openspot 3 in the DR memory, which gives you full command and control of the hotspot. I'm sorry if the camera's a little jumpy. I'm using a cell phone, and I'm not doing a great job on holding it very steady, so please forgive me for that. Again, this video is about the information. Okay, so let's get started. Now, to create a DR memory, you want to go into the menu mode by hitting the menu button. And you want to go to, well, there's two ways there. You either go to the memory and hit enter and go to repeater list, or you can hit menu 210. Okay, now what I recommend doing is, most of you with your Kenwood radio have a configuration sort of like this for the various world regions for the repeater directory. These were pre-programmed in the radio before they were shipped, and yours might have slightly different look, but you have a world region select is your first wave. I recommend going into the region of the world that you live in. Now, for those of us in the US or Canada, obviously I would pick North America. So you highlight that with the up and down. You can kind of use this rocker panel to move. You hit the Enter key over North America, and then it takes you to something called Country Select. And this is where you can select a particular country you live in. I'm in the USA, so I'm going to select that and hit Enter. And then once you get into the country, on most of the Kenwood radios I've been familiar with, they have a group select in the USA with W1 through W0, and then I even have separate sections for Alaska and Hawaii, WL and WH. I recommend picking a section of the country that you live in. I'm in Florida, which is in Foreland. So I'm going to select that and hit Enter. And when you go into that, you get a list of repeaters that are all in the 4 call zone of the United States. And they start in Alabama, and they're in alphabetical order by city. You scroll down fast, and you go through the state, then Florida, then wherever. Now, you may want to insert it in your state, or you may want to go to the beginning of the menu, which is Alabama. Go to the beginning of the alphabet. Again, this is up to you where you want to insert the memory. You want to insert the memory where you'll know where to find it. So it's really up to you where you insert it. I like to use Foreland, which is my homeland. And then doing it directly above the beginning of Alabama. So I've got, a hotspot there, a hotspot there, and a hotspot there. So I'm going to insert one right here. The last listing in Foreland is Virginia, Tyson's Corner on this particular radio. So now what I'm going to do is you hit the menu button, and it gives you an option to either add a memory, edit an existing memory, move an existing memory, or delete and clear a memory. Well, we're going to add one. So highlight Add. Okay, this is where you name your hotspot memory, whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name this one a short name, OS3 for Openspot 3. So you highlight the name, you hit Enter, and you can use the keypad on the Kenwood, so you got to kind of get familiar with which numbers are which letters. So when you hit 6 once, it's M, N, O. I wish the focus would get better. And now it's capital M, N, O. So now I've got capital O. Now I'm going to go to 7 for an S, and I want to make it a capital S. P, Q, R, S, P, 7, P, Q, R, S, and then I'm going to do the number 2. A, B, C, 2. So I'm just going to name it OS2 to make this easier and quicker. I'm entering that. So now it's named, I'm sorry. Let me go back and edit that. I'm going to name it. See, I still have Openspot 2 on the mind. So let me change that to... Actually, I'm going to have to clear it with the dual ABs. There we go. Now I'll change it to 3. There we go. OS3. Sorry about that. Subname is usually where you put the state or the province. Not necessary, not required, for it's a hotspot. Now, this is something different that I've never shown before. In a prior video, I recommended putting in your call sign with a module. Most people would use the module B because that's the protocol for 70 centimeters, which the frequency of the hotspot is on. You don't have to do that. You can use your call sign with virtually any module except for G. You can do Z, you can do A, you can do B, you can do C. Or with the Kenwood has a little workaround which I kind of like, and I've tested this. So this is a new method of programming your RPT1 and RPT call signs. Instead of putting in your call sign like I did in a prior video, go into the call sign and you want to type in the word direct. D-I-G-H-I P-Q-R E-C. Yep, I messed up already. Let me do that. D-E-A-B-C and then T. The word direct, D-I-R-E-C-T. Do the same thing in the gateway RPT2. Again, you can only do this on the Kenwood, and you can only do this if you are using an Openspot platform hotspot, 1, 2, or 3. You cannot do this on an ICOM. You cannot do this on a Pi-Star hotspot, even if you have a Kenwood. In those circumstances, you have to do call sign and module. I've tested it on the ICOM, and it doesn't like it, even on the Openspot. I'll show later in the video why that's a problem. So call sign, gateway call sign. Again, the word direct. D-G-H-I P-Q-R E A-B-C T. And I misspelled it. Sorry. This is what happens when you try and use it through the camera. E A-B-C T. Direct, enter. So you've got direct and direct. Lockout, leave that off. Frequency. My frequency is 445, so you enter that. Now on the Kenwood, it starts in the thousands, so you always want to hit a 0. Then the frequency, 4, 4, 5, 7, 3, 7, 5, 0. That's my frequency. Now, on the ICOM, this is a big deal. If you put off on the ICOM, it doesn't fulfill your RPT1 and RPT2 information, and it creates a major problem in programming for a hotspot. I think it's more forgiving on the Kenwood. I'm not trusting it, so I'm going to use the old ICOM method here. I'm going to pick plus. And then you want to make sure all zeros. So there's actually no offset. If you don't do the plus on an ICOM, it'll create a problem. I think you can get away with doing off there, but I'm not going to gamble because I know it will work on the Kenwood. So plus 0. Position accuracy. Now this is optional. I recommend you can skip this for now and leave it invalid. And you can skip over your longitude and latitude if you want. You can even skip over your time zone. Okay, but I'm just suggesting that you may want to put in your exact, go to your latitude, and dial in your exact latitude. So you'll probably want to test the GPS and write down the exact latitude and longitude. and then enter them there. The reason I suggest that is you can do a near repeater search and it'll pull up your hotspot, and then your time zone. Eastern is -5 hours. Okay, I'm going to leave these blank because they're not critical. Again, it's all about getting the frequency, making sure you don't have an offset shift of 5 megahertz. So you can put plus in, you can put 0 offset. Make sure you have a frequency, lockout off, gateway RPT2 direct, gateway or call sign RPT1 direct. Again, you can only do this with the Kenwood, and you can only do this with the Kenwood if it's on a Openspot platform. So this doesn't apply to ICOM radios, and it does not apply to a Pi-Star or other type of hotspots. Only Openspots and Kenwood. So this is different. But trust me, it will work, and it will work beautifully. Once you've completed all your data entry, you hit the dual AB button under the word write. So we're writing this to memory. Required info not entered. Let me see what's not required. Offset. Oh, because I put exact, it's wanting the data. So I'm going to put invalid so it'll let me skip the longitude and latitude. There we go. So there's my memory channel for the Openspot 3. I've already got one up here, but I'm just doing it again for your benefit, and I've named this one OS3. Okay, and now that it's done, you can back out of the menu by hitting the back button, or you can do a quick push to talk and it'll take you back to the regular menu. Now, I want to load that hotspot into the bottom field. On the ICOM radio, we call this the from field. I don't know what we call it on the Kenwood. It has a little building. That's the repeater or hotspot that you're dialing up. So the way you do it from the DR mode, and this is where it gets to be really easy, is just use this rocker switch. If you press and hold the down arrow, it'll allow you to change what's in that bottom field. So I can scan the repeater list, North America, USA, W4. Now I can look for that OS3. There it is. That's the one that I just created. There, it has the OS3 now in the bottom field with the frequency. And instead of a call sign here, now it has the word direct. Okay. Let's test it. Okay, now this is the cool part about the DR memory. Now that we've got the bottom part filled in, we want to do what's called the to field on the ICOM radio, and here it's the little guy with the walkie-talkie. This is where you're directing the call to. So the way you control what's put in up here is this rocker button, up and down. Press and hold the up now, and then you get a new menu. It gives you local CQ. This is called the destination select menu. Local CQ, gateway, individual, reflector, call history, direct input your call, and then this EMR thing, which I really don't know anything about EMR. Somebody will have to fill me in on that. Well, for starters, you're going to want to get used to the reflector. So you've got reflector. You go into reflector by hitting enter, and you've got reflector options. You've got use reflector, which is your use reflector CQ, 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 which you use for QSO. You've got your link to reflector, unlink reflector, echo test, and reflector info. Well, we're not linked to anything yet because I have it unlinked. So let's go to link to reflector. When you go in there, the last 5 reflectors that you link to are showing here. If you haven't done any linking before, it might be blank, or you might have 2 or 3 or 1. Doesn't matter. Now you can select a reflector that's in the last 5, but oftentimes you'll want to go to some other reflector that's not on this list. It only holds 5. So below, over here in the corner, it says input by my thumb. That's the button right here. If you hit that, it allows you to dial up a reflector randomly. And you'll see the REF is blinking. If you spin the VFO knob, you can choose from REF reflectors, DCS reflectors, XRF reflectors, XLX reflectors. Okay. Well, there's REF. We'll try one of those. And then this allows you to, you rock her to the right, and this allows you to dial the reflector number. Now, particularly when you get into XRF and XLX reflectors or DCS reflectors, if you press and hold the down arrow or the up arrow, it scrolls through the numbers pretty fast. See how it whizzes? So you can even do that, or you can spin the VFO knob. I'm going to go to reflector 030, so I'm going to go back up. Oops, see, I already went too far. And then this allows you to change the module. You can spin the VFO knob, or you can choose any module A through Z. Doesn't mean they'll always link or work, because not all reflectors have that many modules. In the REF world, you've got A, B, C, and D modules. And then you've got the E module for echo testing on any REF reflector that's working. Well, let's just do 30. I don't want to go to 30 Charlie because there might be some traffic. Well, it's okay. We can go there. So reflector 30 Charlie. Enter it, and the link command REF030CL appears in this upper field. Now, if you do a quick push to talk,
Openspot connected to REF030 Charlie.
it connects to 30 Charlie. You press and hold the up arrow to select and change the to field. You highlight reflector, hit enter, scroll up to use reflector, and you'll notice it says use reflector CQ, CQ, CQ. And that is how you can then QSO on the reflector. So if I push to talk now, it's going out over the reflector. Let me turn that down. Okay, let's try an XRF reflector. Reflector, link to reflector, input, which is the dual AB. I'm going to do an XRF. Okay, I'm going to do XRF. Oh, let me try 008. That's one that has 26 modules. Okay, and that's why some of these XRF reflectors I think are pretty cool. I'll have to do another video on XRF reflectors and some of the cool features. I'm going to do... You know what? I'm going to push it to the edge. I'm going to do the Z module, XRF008 Zulu. There's nobody there, I'm sure, but you can link in QSO there. If another friend of yours wants to QSO there, you can link to that and have almost a private channel. XRF008 Zulu link. Quick push to talk.
RF008 Zulu.
There you have it, XRF008 Zulu connected. And I forgot to turn the volume up on the Openspot so you didn't hear the beginning of the announcement. Now, reflector, use reflector. You're now QSOing on XRF008 Zulu module. Okay, let's try reflector, link to reflector, input. Oh, let's just do a DCS 445 alpha. How's that sound? It's in Akron, Ohio. Whoops, too far. There we go. Oops. There we go. DCS 445 alpha link. We'll do a quick push to talk.
Openspot connected to DCS 445 alpha.
We're linked. We've got to remember, press and hold the up arrow, reflector, move up to use reflector. You're ready for QSO. Okay, I think that's enough. I think you've got the idea. Again, this is just the beginning of what you can do with the DR mode or DR memory channel controlling your Openspot hotspot. Again, this will work on an Openspot 1, 2, or 3. And that's just a quick demonstration of how you can navigate the reflectors. I'm going to do some follow-up videos to show you what else you can do. It's going to be focused only for those with the Openspot 3 and the Kenwood. I want to show you how you can connect to D-Star repeaters through your hotspot directly from your hotspot to a repeater, and also show you how you can connect to cross mode, to DMR Brandmeister, to NXDN reflectors, to Fusion, the YSF reflectors, and Fusion's FCS reflectors. Again, if you have this radio and an Openspot 3, you got access to 3 other digital networks above and beyond D-Star. So there's a lot more places to explore in an upcoming video. Anyway, I hope that video helped you in figuring out how to program a DR memory. I made a change to an earlier video where instead of using the call sign in the module on the Kenwood radio, you can use the word direct. The word direct in your RPT1 and direct in RPT2, and it works beautifully. So it is a different twist, but it works 100%. And in subsequent videos, you'll see what else you can do with this configuration. Anyway, that's it for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below or email me at cq2meters@yahoo.com. And if you have any comments, please let me know below as well. 73s from K9WLW.